Hi, this is Jeannie, and this is my podcast, Dreams to Reality. So, the topic for today is going to be how do I achieve clarity? So, this is one of my favorite topics is how do I achieve clarity in my goals? So, I actually wrote more in detail in my book. I'll provide the link on my show notes below. And it is my book, Dreams to Reality, the 4 keys to achieving the life of your dreams. So for me, I learned this technique or method several years ago when I read Michael Losier's book, Law of Attraction. It is one of the best books out there. Definitely do grab it. It has a technique there that I use to this very day, and that is how I achieve clarity. So to achieve clarity on your goals, think first. Let's say there's a particular difficulty or goal that you have right now. Let's say it is related to work, and you want to have a better job or better work environment. So what you need to do is get a sheet of paper. If you have a steno notebook, it's one of those notebooks that has the left and the right one. Or if not, just blank sheet of paper or any notepad, and then divide it into 2. Fold it into 2, or you can put a line that would divide it into 2 columns, left and right. So on the left, you're going to write down all the things you do not like about your current situation right now. It could be job, finances, relationship, money, health, anything, And let's say health. You're not eating healthy, you have a lot of ailments, you have like high cholesterol, you're overweight. So you write it down, write all of the things that your current situation, what you don't like about your current situation right now. So what you really hate about your situation right now. And so write it down. And if you have any health problems, so write it down as well. Like you don't exercise too much, or you're not eating healthy and you eat junk food, write it down. Write it all down. And then write all of the bad stuff, the things that you don't like about your situation. And on the opposite end of that, write down the opposite, which is, let's say you eat junk food. So maybe I rarely eat junk food, or I eat junk food once a week. Or let's say I don't have a healthy eating habit. So you write down on the opposite side is I have a healthy eating habit. And so focus now on the opposite things of what you've written down on the left side of the paper, the left column. So let's say on the left side you wrote like you're overweight. So on the right side you write down I am my ideal weight, or I weigh this much. It's always good to have that range. Maybe your ideal range would be like you want to weigh between 130 to 135, or you can even make the range better, like I weigh between 130 and 140 pounds. So that would be more like clear for you, providing that range. Because being specific, it's especially when it comes to weight, might not be advisable, because we weigh between like 2-3 pounds. Like our body weight fluctuates. So, and let's say you want to be more healthy. So on the left side you wrote like you're not eating right. So on the right side of that, opposite end of that, you're eating right. You're eating a well-balanced meal. So now tear tear out the left side of the column, which are all the bad stuff, all the things you don't want. And then after you've, just keep the right side of the paper, the right column. And then now you have all the things that you really want. Because a lot of times, and this is on the book, in the book as well, we tend to focus on what we don't want. And that can prevent us from having clarity on what we want. And sometimes using the law of contrast, it's one of the life's principles. When you contrast what you don't want, you have more clarity on what you really want. But then in order for you to know what you really want, you need to know first what you don't want, And that really helps. And this is a technique I use up to this very day. I use it to gain clarity, and it is the best tool, the best technique, which is focus first, write it down what you don't want, and the opposite of that is what you really want. So now you're more clear. So now when you have that clarity, that right side of the sheet of paper, you have more clarity on what you really want and what you really need to focus on. And now you can be more specific. Let's say you say like you rarely eat junk food, so maybe you can be more specific and say, I eat junk foods maybe on weekends only, or I allow myself to eat junk foods maybe once or twice a week instead of like every day. And let's say on your left column you wrote, I don't exercise. So on your right column, which is the thing that you really need to focus on, which is I exercise regularly. And then you become even more specific, which is I exercise Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, or I exercise on the weekends from this time to that time, or I have signed up for like a yoga class or something like that. And then maybe like I'm not healthy, I don't have a healthy lifestyle, which is on your left column. So the right column would be I have a healthy lifestyle. So you become more specific now so what does having a healthy lifestyle entail? Does it mean tracking your calories? Does it mean weighing yourself every day? Does it mean running, walking, joining the gym, or maybe just dancing? So now you have more clarity, even more clarity based on your list. And the more specific you are, be specific, but not too specific that you don't have a lot of leeway. Now you have your clarity list, or the things that you're clear about that you really want to accomplish. And now with that clarity list, which is specific but not too specific, when I say specific but not too specific, it's like the same with weight. So you can say I'm my ideal weight, but maybe your ideal weight is a range. Maybe it's between 130 to 140, but when you really you're too specific, like you just say, oh, I really have to weigh 130 pounds. So you're not being you're not allowing leeway for your mindset to kick in. You're it's demotivating if you really are too specific on things that you can't really control because our weight fluctuates. So maybe provide a goal, maybe 130 to 135. That would be your ideal weight range, right? And so now you can be even more specific by adding steps or action steps, like how can I achieve that ideal weight? And then you write down underneath, maybe by, weighing myself every day, tracking my calories, or going exercising 5 days in a week. So these are the things that you can work on, but you see how there's a huge difference and shift already just by using this one technique, which is, a technique that or a method that I really recommend in achieving clarity in your goals. I hope you pick up the book. It's a really amazing book, and it's a technique that I really use every time I need clarity on something. And that sometimes clarity is even the first step. So if you're not aware of my book, so I have a book, Dreams to Reality, the 4 keys to living the life of your dreams. So the 4 keys would be clarity, clearing subconscious reprogramming, and aligned action. So clarity is actually one of the first keys. Without clarity, without your North Pole, without your destination, there's just gonna be no goals that are gonna be achieved. So definitely achieving clarity is one of the most important keys. If not, sometimes it's all you need, just clarity. Anyway, if you want to email me, and if you have questions, email me at homeofjeannie@gmail.com. Or if you are an author in the self-help industry and you want to help other listeners, email me as well, homeofjeannie@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening, and have a nice day.